There was a time when children spent the majority of their early childhood with their grandparents, and the grandparents led them into their education and through their traditions and gave them the values of the people. The All Indian Pueblo Council has a mission which is rooted in its beginnings from 1598, and our mission is the same as it was when our original leaders drafted it, and that was to protect Pueblo people and the Pueblo way of life. That's the ultimate mission for the All Indian Pueblo Council. With the Strong Starts for Pueblo Children initiative, we were able to work very closely with the people and their children in their communities across New Mexico. This opportunity allowed us time to discuss issues that are important to Pueblo people. We were able to talk about early childhood development as we know it now and as we used to know it. We talked about agriculture, we talked about economic self-sufficiency, we talked about education as we know it now, what we'd like to see from it, and what it used to be for us. And we discussed a lot about what the Pueblo people believe for self-determination.
Because each of our communities are different. New Mexico is very diverse, and so I think when we have our dialogues and wanting the need to mobilize and shape the movement, it needs to be unique to each respective community. And again, going back to that whole community buy-in, we need that community buy-in to move the work forward.
One of the most exciting things for us was having the kickoff in the Pueblo of Santa Ana, because it brought together members of the community who are concerned about their children and gave them an opportunity to enjoy the love that they have for the children and the assets in the community, which are the early childhood institutions, which are the people's agriculture, because that took place in the fall. And so we were able to bring a lot of people together and really enjoy the season, but also to really understand that we have devotion and strong support in the community for children's issues. The Pueblo people are very concerned about the viability of their languages. They're concerned that the children are not picking up the languages the way they used to, and that it's very important for them at an early age to have access to learning their languages and to be able to use them as they grow and as they are educated.
Native language development doesn't necessarily have to be in competition with academic learning. They can have both. The issue is that oftentimes we assume that because of the pressures of English-based schooling, because of the pressures of standardized testing and the high-stakes testing that is going on now in many schools, many of those federal policies with regard to assessment are English-based. And so we often think that the only way our children can achieve success within that type of system is to leave language behind, which is furthest from the truth, because we know from long-term research that in fact children can develop more than one language at any given time. But the key is providing them that good quality time in which they can develop it, and also to give enough time, meaning that we don't just do language exposure at early childhood, that we do it consistently throughout a child's lifetime to really give them that support.
We drafted memorials which were introduced in the 2011 legislative session. They were sponsored by Native American legislators, Representative James Roger Magdalena, and in the Senate we had Senator John Pinto. Both of these memorials were intended to remind the legislators that they have plenty of authoritative work done that draws upon the idea that education should benefit Native Americans.
Certainly within the legislature, I hope that they will take time to learn and to listen and to understand why this issue of language maintenance, language revitalization is so important to Native communities here in New Mexico. 10, 15 years from now, we will see tribal communities having stepped forward. We will see, hopefully, a more cooperative kind of effort in a policy in which we see early childhood educators and policymakers working in collaboration with tribal communities to ensure that these languages survive. Because without language, culture doesn't survive either.
And so we hope that in the future, early childhood development will be much more inclusive of traditional values, and that there will be a place for our children to continue to spend time with their grandparents in a way that is truly about teaching, it's truly about sharing values, and it's about carrying forward the ideas of the Pueblo people into another generation.
Be